So friends, in last period we have studied introduction, definition and scope of the subject plant physiology. Now in this period we are going to study the applications of plant physiology in the same topic. Applications means practical applications of this plant physiological knowledge, how we can apply this knowledge for various practical purposes. For example, first, to improve the phenomena like photosynthesis, nitrogen fixation, protein synthesis, and thereby we can improve the nutrition quality and quantity of the products. We know at present the plants are classified based on the rate of photosynthesis as C4 and C3 plants. Most of the food grain crops we have classified them in C4 plant because in this plant the rate of photosynthesis is maximum due to presence of bundle sheath cells in the leaves. So as the rate of photosynthesis is high, it means more food is produced. So that is our interest there. Like that, nitrogen fixation. Previously, we are knowing only the plant leguminous crops. They are able to fix the nitrogen. But at present, by knowledge of plant physiology, we have improved nitrogen fixation process because at present we have identified some nitrogen fixing gene, NIF gene, and this NIF gene at present we are incorporating in other plants also, like your cereal crop for example. So in cereal crops also at present nitrogen fixation has become possible. So there is no need of root noodle forming bacteria like rhizobia or other. At present that gene itself promotes the nitrogen fixation in the roots of non-leguminous plants also. So this is very important application of plant physiology. And by this way we can improve the nutrition, for example maximum proteins, maximum carbohydrate, maximum fats, etc. So we get these products at the maximum rate in from these plants based on this knowledge of plant physiology. So plant physiology has its importance. Secondly, the plant physiology has its importance because we can get the exact requirement of nutrients and water which could help to solve the problem of soil fertility, waterlogging, etc. So at present, by knowledge of plant physiology, we have come to the knowledge that what quantity of water is essential for a particular crop at a particular season during the daytime or during the 24 hours. How much milliliter or how much liter of that plant water is essential, that we know, and by that way, by drip or sprinkle irrigation at present we are providing only that quantity of water to that crop, so that economically we save the water as well as exact quantity of water getting that crop, so crop grows more vigorously. So both way we are get benefit. Similarly, salts or what we say the fertilizers, the application broadcasting method of fertilizer application, which is a very crude method and old method, and due to which only 35% of that fertilizer applied they are utilized by the crop plants, and rest of 70% of that fertilizer which we broadcast in that soil of the crop field, that fertilizer go waste. So this was the traditional method followed by farmers. But at present, by this knowledge of plant physiology, we are what we are doing, we are knowing exact dose of fertilizer, and that dose of fertilizer also we are providing directly to the root system by fertigation method, that is by providing water and fertilizer, dissolved fertilizer, at the same time to the crop plant. So through the each drop of water also each that particular fertilizer is applied directly to the roots of that crop, so that crop plant absorb that fertilizer very easily, and so there is no loss of fertilizer. So this is also very economic application of plant physiology. Then third application is importance of plant physiology in agriculture. Agricultural sector, it has a very broad application for by the knowledge of plant physiology. For example, improvement of the crop, development of the new variety, hybrid varieties. It involves variety of experiments field trials, and in that we apply the knowledge of plant physiology for developing the new variety, for the improvement of that crop variety by modifying its metabolism, by modifying, studying all its physical properties, so that that crop efficient product producing crop we can involve. Similarly, crop production can be increased when we apply proper fertilizer, proper water, proper growth hormones, proper sunlight, ventilation, all these factors when we provide, then that crop will produce optimum. So for production of optimum crop product, the physiology knowledge has its own importance. So then development of new varieties, for producing hybrid varieties, for producing high yielding varieties, or for producing disease resistant varieties, all these new varieties which today we observe, which are cultivated now commonly by the farmer, this is due to the plant physiology. Because in plant physiology various experiments are done for the particular purpose, for disease resistance, salt tolerance, etc., and accordingly that some genetic modifications are take genetic modifications are carried out in that crop variety, and so the new variety which we develop, definitely it has good characters in it. Then physiology knowledge is also important in agriculture, especially for example stress tolerance. Many plant during the summer season, there may be a temporary test of water scarcity or salts, uh, salts not available, etc. So at that situation, many plants may collapse, many plants may wilt. But at present, we have developed such a variety that varieties can tolerate this environmental stresses like high light intensity or frozen temperature, or the salt tolerance, salt concentration, etc. At that situation, we have developed the new variety, and that variety can tolerate all these environment stresses. Then physiology knowledge is also applied in agriculture in, for example, plant hormones and their importance in quality production. At present, we know various types of growth regulators or plant hormones they are developed. For example, indole acetic acid, indole butyric acid, naphthalene acetic acid, gibberellic acid, etc., etc. You are might be familiar with GOL, for example, GOL growth hormone, which farmers very commonly use for as a weedicide for killing the weeds in the main field. Like that, these growth hormones, various types of growth hormones at present, they are utilized by the farmers, and variety of growth hormones they are used for variety of purposes. Some hormones are used for fast growth. Some hormones are used for production of flowers. Some hormones are used for production of the fruit, fruit setting. Some hormones are used for color for the fruit. Some hormones are used for quality nutrients to be produced in the fruits. Some hormones are used for increasing the size of fruits, like that. So all this at present, which farmers very commonly using these various types of growth hormones. This is because of the plant physiological knowledge. So physiological knowledge is very important. It is applied for improving the quality and quantity production of the plants. Similarly, it is also used for early flowering and fruiting. Generally, plants flowers in a particular season. But at present, by knowledge of physiology, we can modify the flowering pattern or flowering period and fruiting period of that crop. We can have early flowering or late flowering. For example, in our area, grapes or pomegranate, these two cash crops at present we are cultivating in Nasik district. So the grape farmers, they take normal flowering, for example, October cutting, what we say, the October bahar. But nowadays, farmers they are taking early flowering, that is flowering of the grapes in the July. So this early flowering, so that they produce fruits in December, and so in that period they get maximum market values or market prices. So that farmers get benefit. Or sometimes what happens when the climate condition is not favorable, then what can do the farmers? The farmers they can spread that specific growth hormone, and so that flowering can be delayed, fruiting can maturity can be delayed. So early or late flowering and fruiting it can be possible because of various types of growth hormones used, and by that way the knowledge of plant physiology. Then post harvest life of flowers and fruits improvement. For example, cut flowers like roses, gerbera, etc. When they are cut from the mother plant, then in a few hours they may get wilt. But at present, we are applying various types of biochemicals, various types of hormones, and by that way we can improve the post harvest life of these flowers as well as the fruits. So fruits or flowers cut once we remove from the mother plant, then up to the consumers, then that fruits and flowers they are provided. So lot of time goes, sometimes it may be few weeks to few months. So in that period that fruits and flowers should remain fresh, and for that purpose we spray anti-transparents on that fruits and flower, so that fruits and flower remain fresh. So this is also very economic and important application of plant physiology in agriculture. Then high yield by increasing the rate of photosynthesis. At present, as earlier I said, plants are classified into C3 and C4 group. This is based on the rate of photosynthesis. Most of the food grain crops and cash crops, they are classified based on the physiology as C4 plant, because in this plant the rate of photosynthesis is high, so they produce more carbohydrates, proteins, sugars, fats, etc. And that is the economic product of interested for the human being. So such plants at present we are identified and we are cultivating them in the field for getting more product, that is getting more photosynthetic product like sugar, carbohydrates, etc. Similarly, in agriculture, plant physiology has application in development of disease resistant varieties. Many varieties they are susceptible, they get easily attacked by fungi and other pathogens. So to avoid this fungal or other pathogenic infection, it is a need of our to develop new resistant varieties. So we have made some genetic modification in the plant, so that plant can avoid or escape, or they can tolerate that various types of infectious pathogens or their diseases. So this has become possible at present, and so it is very important application of plant physiology. Pause केलं ना. Next application of plant physiology is importance in biotechnology. First importance or application of plant physiology in biotechnology is development of hydroponics. Hydroponics, it is a technique of growing the plants in the water medium. So there is no anchoring soil medium, only plants is directly grown on the water medium. So it is called hydroponics. What is the use of this hydroponics technique? In when we grow the crop plant, any plant in the hydroponics or in water, no doubt that water is distilled water. So when we grow that plant, and we can artificially supply different types of nutrients, minerals or fertilizers in various concentrations. When we provide that particular nutrient in a various concentration, then we can study or we can observe that plant at which concentration it shows vigorous growth. So this is the experiments we can do by using the technique of hydroponics. So which, for example, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, these various types of nutrients they are used, they are required for the growth of black plant at a various concentration and at a various stage of growth. So we can know their deficiency symptoms, and by that way we have that knowledge. So hydroponic techniques, it is very important for getting the definite or exact concentration of particular nutrient at a particular stage of growth, so that we can formulate the nutrients concentration. Secondly, physiology, it is applied in biotechnology for micropropagation, especially few economic important plants, for example orchids. They are a very rare and endangered species. So these species at present they are threatened, so we need to conserve them, and for conservation there is no other way than the tissue culture, or what we say micropropagation. So by micropropagation we can multiply the number of these threatened or economic plant like orchids. At present commercially we are getting the seedlings of banana or other plants by tissue culture or micropropagation. So in a limited time, in large number of new seedlings we can get on the cost of micropropagation. Then in biotechnology at present we are using the concept of synthetic seeds. Many plants which produce fruit, seeds, even embryo, but it is not viable. That seeds do not germinate, though it have the embryo. Such a embryo which is viable but do not germinate because of some other barriers in the seed and seed codes. So, what by knowledge of physiology, what we use the technique of biotechnology, that is production of synthetic seeds. That embryo from that seeds it is removed and it is cultured on the synthetic medium, and then artificial artificial chemical constituents they are provided, so that artificial seed coats covering that delicate embryo, that is produced what we call the synthetic seeds. So such a synthetic seeds then we can cultivate them and we can get the new plant which was not possible in the traditional method. So it is very important application of plant physiology. Then production of transgenic plants. Transgenic plants means manipulation or modification of genetic material in the plant embryo. For example, resistance to traces. Various types of traces we know: biological traces, climatic or environmental traces, etc. etc. Like high temperature, low temperature, waterlogging, scarcity of water. So these various types of traces naturally their plant has to face in the nature. So when these traces they affect severely on the growth as well as on the productivity of the crop plant. So it is necessary to avoid or to resist or to escape these traces. For that purpose, biotechnology and knowledge of plant physiology plays very important role to develop the plants which can tolerate or which can escape or which can resist these various types of physical biological traces. Similarly, pests and diseases and their impact it can also be tolerated or avoided by developing the new variety which can tolerate or resist the pests and diseases. Then next importance of plant physiology is in horticulture. Horticulture means cultivation of fruit plants, vegetable plants and the ornamental plants. So at present it is a very important branch of the agriculture, and it is directly concerned with the cash crop production. For example, what is the role of physiology in horticulture? For example, cutting, layering, grafting. In cutting, what we do, we cut the plant into small pieces, and then each piece of that plant or that organ is buried in the moist soil and it is allowed to grow as a new independent plant. So at this stage or in this technique we must have the knowledge of physiology. Any plant cannot be propagated by making the cuttings. For example, only dicots or gymnosperm plants, only these plants can be cultivated by making their cuttings. No monocot plants can be used for making the cutting and development new plants. Similarly, layering or grafting. Two plants when they are joined together and they can grow as a single independent plant. That is in what we call grafting. So for grafting, we must have the knowledge of physiology. That is, whether that plant belongs to same genus, whether that plant belongs to same species or same taxonomic group, then and then they will join together, and then they will succeed to develop the new plant. No other plant, any other plant from any taxonomic group, they can be grafted. So this knowledge is because of plant physiology. Then in horticulture, physiology also plays important role in growth regulators in crop growth and harvesting. At present, hundreds of growth regulators, or what we say growth hormones, they are identified, isolated, and they are commercially produced. And these various growth regulators at present, they are used for also various purposes. For example, formation of roots in cuttings, development of new branches, apical dominance, then production of early flowering, delaying of flowering, early fruiting, delaying of fruiting. All this at present it has become possible because these growth regulators actually they have revolutionized the agriculture sector, because this is because of knowledge of plant physiology. So it is at its importance. Then also it has importance in forestry and pathology. In forestry, for example, fast growing varieties they are necessary for developing the new forest. For example, in social forestry, we cultivate the barren lands by cultivating some plants which have characteristics of fast growing. So this fast growing variety, from where they come? They come from the knowledge of plant physiology. Similarly, some plants have some specific self disease resistance. Some plants in the nature, they are not affected by any fungi or any pathogenic infection as compared to the others. This is because they have developed their self resistance in them. And so this is also very important application of plant physiology. So friends, in this way at present we are stopping this uh, topic first, that is introduction to plant physiology, in which we have studied introduction, then scope of plant physiology, and the practical applications of plant physiology. Thank you.